Hey guys, hoping all is well with everyone. So in this video we're going to be continuing our read along of the Secret Zoo, Traps and Specters. And the last time we finished off, we completed chapter 30. So we'll be continuing with chapter 31 today. And just as a quick recap, in the last couple chapters, the scouts had kind of divided up after they went trick-or-treating because Charlie Red had alerted them that something was not right about not only the fog that Tank had found and had seen, but just like looking out for suspicious figures. And then Megan kind of ran into a false alarm where it was just a parent of some two kids trick-or-treating. And then at the very end of the last chapter, Richie had seen a suspicious man that was in a trench coat wearing a wide-brimmed hat, and he was ordered by Sam to follow him, but to not get spotted. So we're going to continue with chapter 31 today. Chapter 31, Ella runs for Richie. As Ella cut through the backyard of a white-bricked ranch, she trampled the remains of a vegetable garden and then hurdled the bottom half of a play structure slide. She cut between two houses, charged across their front lawns, and emerged on a new street, trying to build a mental image of her position in the neighborhood. "Richie!" she said into her bone mic. Richie's voice filled her head. "Yeah? Where are you on Old Cove?" "Huh? The houses. What houses are you near?" After a pause, Richie said, "Close to the Park Hills, and the house with the big boulder, the one painted blue." She knew exactly where that was, about 10 houses down to her left. "I'm coming," she said. Then she turned and took off running, her Wonder Woman cape waving behind her, her lasso of truth bouncing on her hip. Chapter 32, Tank and the Tunnel. Tank swung his flashlight from spot to spot, revealing parts of the cave, the hard walls, the dirt floor, the passage leading to the secret zoo. As the fog headed for the outside air, it moved across his body like a living thing. It smelled of wet earth, and its weight filled his lungs. He occasionally waved his hands in front of him in a feeble attempt to sweep it away. In his headset, he could hear the conversation between the scouts and descenders. Tank thought to announce his position, then decided against it. Maybe it was safer to keep quiet for now. The big man took a few more steps and then swept the beam of his flashlight up one wall, revealing an opening the size of a door. Tank had never seen it before. The passage was covered with a velvet curtain, most air swirling and curling along its edges. Without a doubt, the fog was coming from here. As he reached out and touched the gateway, magic surged up his arm. He eased the curtain to one side and peered around it. It was pitch black. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, the velvet sliding across his shoulders and down his back, its magic delivering him into the secret zoo. In his ear, the voices of the other crossers immediately fell silent. Radio waves couldn't span the magical divide between the two zoos. He raised the flashlight and lit the foggy air. He could faintly see that he stepped into another narrow cave, one that sloped down at a steep angle. He took a step, then another. He had to negotiate his movements with the slippery slope, his weight balanced back on his heels. The beam of his flashlight sliced through the fog, revealing very little. He noticed something about the walls. They were covered with narrow trenches that ran in all directions. He slid a finger through one trench. It was more than 2 inches across and easily as deep. He realized that the tunnel had been dug out by hand, powerful hands with clawed fingertips. "Sasquatches," he muttered. He noticed something moving a few feet ahead and yanked his light in that direction. Something was crawling on the wall. A giant centipede, easily the length of Tank's forearm. It had a dark body, yellow legs, and 2 pincer-like appendages curling out past its head. Its hard, segmented body curved like a snake, its dozens of legs pricking the most moist dirt. Tank turned to watch the centipede move past. He backed into a new spot and felt something soft and thread-like close on his skin and on his bald head. He ducked low and aimed the light high. Cobwebs covered the ceiling, countless spiders scurrying across the silvery strands, their thin legs carrying plump bodies. He swept his flashlight up and down the walls and noticed other insects, large ants and shiny beetles. They were undoubtedly coming from somewhere below, somewhere inside the secret zoo. The big man took a nervous step and felt something crunch and pop beneath him. He swung his flashlight down at his boot and saw 6 spindly legs twitching in the gooey guts of an insect beneath it. Realizing he should radio for backup, he decided to head back to the Clarksville Zoo. But with his first step, his feet slipped out from under him and he dropped to his back in the wet dirt. On the steep slope, he began to slide. Then, with a scream, he plummeted into the dark, foggy reaches of the hollow earth. Chapter 33. On to Old Cove. Ella peered through the fog as she ran up the street. Bright auras surrounded all points of light. Flickering candle wicks, green glow sticks, the beam of flashlights. Porch bulbs looked like starbursts. She saw a few trick-or-treaters racing across lawns, their overstuffed bags swinging at their knees. Several houses down, she spotted the roof of the Parkhills house. Richie's voice suddenly rose in her head. "Guys, I'm close!" Though he was surely whispering, his bone mic transmitted his voice loud and clear. "How close?" Sam asked. 20 feet, maybe." "Can he see you?" "No." Ella cut into the yard next to the Parkhills property. She ran as fast as she could. "Is he wearing boots, Richie? Black boots?" Silence hit the airwaves. Then, "Yeah." Sam said, "Richie, don't get too close. This could be him." "Wait a minute," Richie said. "He just stopped." "Richie, does he see you?" "He sees something." Silence followed. Ella reached the Parkhills backyard and tore across it. Her heart was slamming in her chest, not from fatigue, but fear. Richie said, He just turned around. Oh my, he's looking right at me." "Run," Sam instructed. "Go, get out of there." Richie screamed, and it was a barbaric sound, something produced from raw fear. His panic-filled voice filled the airwaves. "Something's happening! My arms! Richie!" Ella called out. A loud thump erupted in Ella's earpiece, and she winced in pain. It was followed by silence. "Richie!" Sam said, and Ella had never heard such an urgency in his voice. "Richie, come in!" Nothing. Richie was quiet. "He dropped the bone mic," a new voice said. Tamarin. "His headpiece. It fell out." Ella ran alongside the Parkhills house and charged into their front yard. As she did, Old Cove, the road Richie was on, began to rise out of the fog. She saw little else than occasional spots of light, but as she continued, a figure began to appear in the street. Then another. It was Richie, and a man whom Ella immediately identified as Degraff. The shadowist was off to one side of her friend, staggering about, his limbs flailing as he seemed to be struggling against something that Ella couldn't see. Richie was backpedaling away from Degraff, screaming. Ella gasped as she realized what was wrong with her friend. Parts of him were missing. And I'll stop the video there, ending chapter 33. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Kind of all of a sudden kind of crazy turn of events. Poor Richie. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, please take good care of yourself, guys. I look forward to seeing you in our continuation of the Secret Zoo Traps and Specters, where we'll be continuing on with chapter 34 and find out what happened to Richie in terms of his interaction and articulation with Degraff. But I hope to see you guys soon, and again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.